The Taiwan Strait in early 2026 is a stage for high-stakes military posturing, where the world's most powerful militaries face off across a narrow stretch of water. The calm surface of the strait belies the tension simmering just beneath, as rival fleets and air squadrons maneuver with calculated precision. The PLA's joint sword exercises, featuring warships and fighter jets boldly crossing the median line, are more than just drills. They are a stark warning to both Taipei and Washington. These maneuvers are designed to demonstrate Beijing's resolve and its willingness to use force if necessary, sending a clear message that the status quo is under threat. In response, the United States and Japan have launched their own shows of strength. U.S. carrier groups patrol the waters, closely shadowed by Chinese vessels, while Japanese naval patrols operate from Yonaguni, a mere 100 kilometers from Taiwan's shores. The presence of these forces underscores the international stakes, as each side seeks to assert dominance without sparking open conflict. This tense choreography leaves little room for error. A single miscalculation, a radar blip misread, a warning shot fired, could ignite a crisis with global repercussions. Each PLA drill is met with U.S. and allied countermeasures, creating a cycle of escalation and countermoves. The risk of accidental encounters grows with every maneuver, as warships and aircraft operate in ever closer proximity, testing each other's resolve and readiness. For Taiwan's 24 million people, these military exercises are not distant events. They are a constant, unsettling reminder of their precarious position. Sirens, news alerts, and the sight of military vehicles in city streets have become part of daily life, fueling anxiety and uncertainty about the future. The world watches with bated breath, fully aware that a conflict here would be catastrophic. The Taiwan Strait is a vital artery for global trade, and any disruption would send shockwaves through supply chains, energy markets, and economies worldwide. The United Nations convenes emergency meetings, but diplomatic solutions remain elusive. The standoff is far more than a regional dispute. It is the epicenter of the US-China rivalry, where every move is scrutinized and every gesture carries the weight of history. Here, the balance between peace and war is razor thin, and the decisions of a few leaders could alter the course of the 21st century. The so-called new normal is a state of near crisis, where the fate of democracy, regional autonomy, and global stability all hang in the balance. In Taipei, the glow of city lights is shadowed by the presence of troops, while citizens rally for their future and world leaders debate at urgent summits. The next move in this high-stakes geopolitical chess match could either preserve a fragile peace or unleash devastation on a scale unseen in decades. As the world holds its breath, the question remains: who will make the next move and what will it cost? Taiwan is more than a contested territory. It's a thriving democracy and the world's semiconductor powerhouse. Its microchips power everything from smartphones to advanced weapons, making its security a global economic imperative. Control of Taiwan would give China access to the Pacific and shift the regional balance of power, threatening US and Japanese interests. For Washington and its allies, defending Taiwan is about upholding democracy, protecting the global economy, and maintaining strategic stability. The island's fate will shape international law, economic security, and the US-China rivalry for years to come. That's why Taiwan's defense is a global concern, not just a local one. The Taiwan Relations Act, passed in 1979, remains the cornerstone of America's unofficial but enduring commitment to Taiwan in the 21st century. This legislation was crafted to maintain peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait after the United States switched diplomatic recognition from Taipei to Beijing. It ensures that, despite the lack of formal diplomatic ties, the U.S. continues to support Taiwan's security and democratic way of life. The act mandates regular arms sales and ongoing support for Taiwan's self-defense, providing the island with advanced military equipment and technology to deter potential threats. This support is not just symbolic, it's a tangible demonstration of America's resolve to help Taiwan maintain its autonomy. For decades, the U.S. has relied on a policy of strategic ambiguity, deliberately neither promising nor denying direct military intervention if conflict erupts. This approach has helped deter both Chinese aggression and unilateral moves toward independence by Taiwan, maintaining a fragile peace. However, as China's military power rapidly expands and its rhetoric grows more assertive, the U.S. has responded by increasing military aid, sending more advanced weapons, and dispatching trainers to strengthen Taiwan's defenses and readiness. Each new move by Washington triggers fierce backlash from Beijing, with Chinese officials condemning U.S. actions and escalating their own military activities, fueling a dangerous tit-for-tat cycle that raises the risk of miscalculation. In Washington, the debate intensifies. Some lawmakers and experts now advocate for strategic clarity, an explicit promise to defend Taiwan if attacked, arguing it would strengthen deterrence. Others warn that such a shift could provoke war by crossing Beijing's red lines. The United States continues to walk a diplomatic tightrope, striving to deter conflict and reassure allies, while avoiding actions that could inadvertently spark a crisis. As the regional balance of power shifts and tensions rise, the debate over strategic ambiguity versus clarity has become more urgent than ever, with the future of peace and stability in East Asia hanging in the balance. China's campaign against Taiwan is already underway, using gray zone tactics that stop short of open war. Daily PLA air incursions, cyber attacks, economic pressure, and disinformation aim to exhaust and divide Taiwan. These actions blur the line between peace and conflict, making it hard for Taiwan and its allies to respond without risking escalation. The goal is to erode Taiwan's will to resist, making unification seem inevitable. For the US and Japan, countering this shadow war means building resilience and exposing Beijing's tactics. The battle for Taiwan's future is being fought now, in the gray zone. For Beijing, reunification with Taiwan is a core national goal, but the risks of invasion are immense: military losses, economic ruin, and global isolation. Instead, China prefers coercion gray zone tactics, diplomatic isolation, and the threat of force to pressure Taipei into submission. A blockade could cripple Taiwan's economy without the bloodshed of invasion. Yet, the risk of war remains. Missteps by any side could trigger uncontrollable escalation. The CCP's strategy is to make resistance seem futile, but the danger of miscalculation is ever present. The line between coercion and catastrophe is razor thin. Japan's proximity to Taiwan makes it a frontline player in any crisis. The two countries are separated by just over 100 kilometers of ocean, meaning that any instability in Taiwan could have immediate and direct consequences for Japan's own security. This closeness has made Japanese leaders acutely aware of the risks posed by rising tensions in the region. The Ryukyu Islands, especially Yonaguni, the westernmost inhabited island of Japan, are within striking distance of the Taiwan Strait. This puts not only Japanese territory, but also the significant U.S. military presence in southern Japan at risk. The islands have become a strategic buffer, but also a potential target in the event of conflict. In response to these threats, Japan is significantly boosting its defense budget, acquiring advanced long-range missiles, and rapidly fortifying its southern islands. Military drills have become more frequent, and new radar systems and missile batteries are being installed to deter any potential aggression. The Japanese self-defense forces are now more visible than ever in the region. US-Japan military integration is deepening, with joint training exercises and coordinated defense planning becoming routine. The two allies are preparing for a range of scenarios, making joint action more likely if conflict erupts. Their combined military strength is a powerful deterrent, but also raises the stakes of any confrontation. For China, Japanese involvement is a nightmare scenario. It complicates Beijing's calculations and raises the specter of a wider regional war that could draw in other US allies. Chinese officials watch developments with growing concern, aware that any miscalculation could spiral out of control. Any attack on Taiwan could quickly draw in both Japan and the US, escalating the conflict far beyond the island itself. The region is on high alert, with military assets on standby and governments preparing for rapid response. The risk of missteps or misunderstandings has never been higher. The Ryukyu chain now serves as both a shield for Japan and a potential flashpoint for the entire region. Its strategic location makes it a critical line of defense, but also a possible ignition point for a much larger conflict. The stakes for Asia's security have never been higher. Diplomats and military leaders across the region are working overtime to prevent escalation, knowing that the consequences of conflict would be felt far beyond the shores of Taiwan and Japan. If China attacks, the US faces agonizing choices. Direct intervention risks a catastrophic war between nuclear powers. Indirect support, arming Taiwan, enforcing blockades, or imposing sanctions, might not be enough to stop a determined PLA. Relying on alliances and economic pressure could come too late, risking Taiwan's fall and US credibility. Every option carries grave risks, with no easy answers. The Pentagon must weigh these choices, knowing the consequences will echo worldwide. The Taiwan dilemma is one of America's toughest foreign policy tests. The greatest danger is not a planned war, but a sudden escalation from a miscalculation. Crowded skies and seas mean a single accident, an accidental collision or misfired missile, could trigger a chain reaction. Japan's involvement, under its US treaty, could instantly widen the conflict. Economic warfare, sanctions, cyber attacks, asset seizures could spiral into military confrontation. In the fog of war, decisions made in minutes could unleash disaster. The risk of unintended escalation makes the Taiwan Strait one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints. Preventing war over Taiwan depends on diplomacy as much as deterrence. Open lines of communication, military hotlines, summits are vital to manage crises and avoid misunderstandings. International forums can build consensus against force and raise the costs of aggression. The US and allies must reduce economic dependencies on China and make clear the price of conflict. The goal is to deter invasion while reassuring Beijing that the US does not support formal independence. There's no simple solution, only a marathon of careful diplomacy and credible deterrence. Preserving peace in the Taiwan Strait demands vigilance, restraint, and constant engagement.